Normally, I don't make my political beliefs a known thing. It's divisive for a comedian to do that, but just know I sleep well at night knowing who I'm voting for.
Tony Hinchcliffe, a.k.a. Kill Tony, bombed at Donald Trump's New York City rally at Madison Square Garden. Here's some of the lowlights.
It's absolutely wild to see, and in Texas, stuff is really, really crazy. We're right there by a wide open border. Where are my proud Latinos at tonight? You guys see what I mean? It's wide open. There's so many of them. It's absolutely incredible. Believe it or not, people, I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this.
This man is getting wrecked in the replies, but let's play a few more, then get to it.
It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country. Republicans are the party with a good sense of humor.
More from Hinchcliffe.
You know, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
This is the line that really got people riled up.
The real story I want to talk about is Tony Hinchcliffe, the comedian who has some words for Puerto Ricans, apparently. Because according to your biography, despite the very Anglo last name of Hinchcliffe, your main ethnic heritage is Italian. And while now you can hide behind the mask and the social construct of whiteness, please know I remember the time when Italians were the ones being called dirty and beggars. I remember in early American history when newspapers called Italians lazy beggars and violent criminals. And I remember when Italians were literally lynched. All because you all were considered non-white and other. All because Southern Europeans were racially inferior to Northern Europeans. I remember when the media specifically portrayed Italians in negative ways, reinforcing all the stereotypes in them as criminals and gangsters. I remember all of that being a result of your immigration patterns. How did you put it?
And these Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. There's no pulling out. Don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country.
Here's the irony in all of that. As with always, when black people and Latinos always come together to do the work, white people benefit the most. Because you benefit from white privilege now, only because the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s encouraged a broader understanding of race and ethnicity, and the social dynamics shifted. Therefore, a concept like whiteness began to expand and include groups like Italians. Yes, prolific civil rights groups like the Black Panther Party and the Young Lords. A street gang formed by Puerto Ricans in Chicago that evolved into a diverse, revolutionary civil rights group active during the 1960s and the 1970s. So the reality is that without the work of the people that you're now calling garbage, your would be roadkill on the streets. You're welcome.
Brian Baez had a solid takedown.
I really don't know what's worse, Tony Hinchcliffe making stupid jokes or the Republicans, the thousands of them laughing about it in regards to our island. That island that you call garbage gave birth to amazing human beings. Actresses, people in the medical field, people in the legal field. You have no idea what the you're talking about, dog. You have Sonia Sotomayor, a Supreme Court justice, sitting right now in the Supreme Court of the United States. That's from there. You ever heard of Benicio del Toro? I am dying to see what he has to think about this. And also Lin-Manuel Miranda, the award winner and actor and writer of Hamilton, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen. Or how about the record holder for most Latin Grammys in the planet, René Pérez Joglar? Dude, and we have one of the biggest and most disciplined group of athletes in the planet. We have over 300 Major League Baseball players active right now. Bro, the list goes and goes. Most important, and apparently you never experienced this, we are kind. And you have the audacity to talk about us as a punchline. But of course you're gonna do it in the Republican convention. Racism for your racist friends. What a shocker. And for all of you Latinos voting Republican, take a good look as who is making fun of you. It's not the Democratic Party. Que tengan buen día.
As did Luis on TikTok, who brought even more to the table in his upload. Oh yeah, right. And via Vulture's Jason P. Frank, Puerto Rican celebrities, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, of course, Bad Bunny, Jennifer Lopez, and Ricky Martin responded to Kill Tony's bigoted racist jokes. And they endorsed Kamala Harris's Puerto Rican policy. Frank would write on Benito's Instagram story, a clip addressed Trump's response to Hurricane Irma and Maria. Quote, I will never forget what Donald Trump did and what he did not do when Puerto Rico needed a caring and competent leader, Kamala Harris would say. Bad Bunny then posted a succession of 3 videos, with each one zooming in more on Harris and cutting off parts of her sentence until only I will never forget what Donald Trump did remained. Jennifer Lopez would share the same clip, along with a post from the Harris campaign about how Harris will build an opportunity economy for Puerto Rico. Martin posted both the video of Harris and a video of Hinchcliffe to his story. He also apparently attempted to post Hinchcliffe's comments on his grid, but in a follow-up story, he said they are shadow banning this post. I mean, talk about not only bombing, but backfiring.
I like it. I have other policies that I think it should be implemented as well. Like me personally, I think football should be all year round.
Let's pause here. Tony, my boy, do I have a story for you?
But Donald Trump gets in the league. New Jersey Generals are his team. Yeah. But from day one, he wanted an NFL franchise. So this was a stepping stone for him, which may have led to the collapse of the league.
It was a scam. I'm not even just saying, it really was a scam. He gets the Generals. We need to move to fall. We have to move to fall. We need to take on the NFL. Immediately. Yeah. He has a meeting with Pete Rozelle, the commissioner of the NFL, at the Pierre Hotel. Donald Trump pays for the suite. In this meeting, he says to Rozelle, I don't care about the USFL. You tell me what I have to do to get an NFL franchise. It was preposterous. He did it. He basically went behind the backs of the fellow owners to get, and Pete Rozelle says to him, as long as I am with the NFL, as long as my heirs are with the NFL, you will never have a team in this league. Because he saw him for what he considered him to be, a con man.
In essence, if you are not understanding, Donald Trump bought into the United States Football League, which he is the main driver and reason for it being defunct. Essentially, excuse me, here's what happened. He bought in, New Jersey Generals decided to sign Herschel Walker. Oh, remember that name? Doug Flutie as well. And he also tried to get the other owners to pay for some of those moves because he said, look at all these great things that I'm doing for the league, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. So he buys in clearly only a spring league succeeding, growing over the last few years, showing tons of potential, says that they need to move to fall. Why? They want to compete with the NFL, but it's not really about competing with the NFL. It's about Donald Trump having a plan for a merger. All he wants to do is get into the National Football League. And Pete Rozelle, the commissioner at the time, is basically like, no, I see right through your BS. Absolutely not. He vowed to never allow Donald Trump to become an owner of an NFL team, excuse me. So what Donald Trump decides to do is sue the NFL, saying that they are a monopoly. And guess what? He did win, though he tore his own case to shreds when he was put on the stand. It was a horrendous display. And the jury said, the NFL is a monopoly. That is true. However, we're going to award you $1. $1. This is a true story. They were asking for billions with a B. Got $1. It was an antitrust case, right? So it's treble, so it's $3. So they won $3. And the USFL folded. All thanks to Donald Trump.
The other side's got a lot of crazy endorsements. Swift, Eminem, Leo DiCaprio, Beyonce. Every day the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party.
Hang on a minute. Wait a minute. Hang on. Like this party. What's that? Tony, what is that? Tony. I know you're probably crying on your MyPillow, but what is that, bro? I got another. How about when Trump called Diddy a good friend? Ooh. Jesus, that's bad. How about this? Let's go back for a little. Who is practically bankrolling Donald Trump's campaign at this point? Yes, you have the small donors here and there, but there is one man. He runs Twitter. He jumps like a buffoon. His own family hates him. He dead names his children. That's Elon Musk. So when he's not jumping and making a stupid X, he wrote in a book saying he and Diddy are good friends. Oh. Surprise, surprise. Quote, I don't know if you know this, but Puff is an investor in Twitter. You know, he's a good friend of mine. We text a lot. Musk said, willingly. So yeah, man, as much as Elon might steal, and then tweet meme after meme, as journalist Matt Binder, shout out to Majority Report, wrote, he's affiliated with both men seen in this photo. So not only are you a terrible comedian, but your material sucks.
All right. Heck yeah. It's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that? A lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome. When it comes to Israel and Palestine, we're all thinking the same thing. Settle your stuff already. Best out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors. You know the Palestinians are going to throw rock every time. But you also know the Jews have a hard time throwing that paper. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're having fun now. We're cooking.
Let's discuss the fallout.
There's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. No.
Who is that jackwad? Who is that guy?
Actually, I think that's Tony Hinchcliffe, which is super disappointing.
This
Cree
issue
very
with Puerto
closely,
Rico,
but-
again, I saw it. This was when he went down after Helene, the horrific hurricane, people there, everybody coming together. We sent helicopters down from Minnesota and personnel. You know, this is how you do this during this. And in the first hours, Trump complaining about the response. Does anybody remember how he responded to Maria in Puerto Rico? It was absolutely horrific. Down there insulting people, throwing it. Look, I know that the folks who are on here today understand this. People in Puerto Rico are citizens. They pay taxes and they serve in the military at almost a higher rate than anybody else.
Yeah. I mean, it's like super upsetting. Obviously, it's super upsetting to me. My family is from Puerto Rico. I'm Puerto Rican. And like the thing that is so messed up that I wish more people understood is that the things that they do in Puerto Rico are a testing ground for the policies and the horrors that they wish to, and that they do unveil in working class communities across the United States. And I need people to understand that when you have some a-hole calling Puerto Rico floating garbage, know that that's what they think about you. That is exactly, like, look, that's just what they think about you. It's what they think about anyone who makes less money than them. It's what they think about the people who serve them food in a restaurant. It's what they think about the people who fold their clothes in a store. Like,
you're
dude,
right.
Are you serious?
So when AOC and Tim Walz spoke on it via Twitch, Hinchcliffe would tweet, and this is gold, guys. This is gold. These people have no sense of humor. Wild that a vice presidential candidate would take time out of his busy schedule. They planned this Twitch stream, by the way. This is part of going in the schedule. To analyze a joke taken out of context to make it seem racist. I love Puerto Rico and vacation there. I made fun of everyone. Watch the whole set. I'm a comedian, Tim. Might be time to change your tampon. So first off, the whole tampon thing, already been talked about ad nauseum. The fact that this comedian wants to use this line is hilarious and also a tell of where they are politically. I digress. So, W. Kamau Bell had a really solid retort with this. Out of context, you put yourself in the context. You willingly made yourself political fodder, and tomorrow you'll start the "they can't cancel me" tour. Oh, that's so true. This ain't the mothership or Netflix or Kill Tony. This is a rally for a presidential candidate who wants mass deportations of Latinos and who literally threw paper towels into a crowd of Puerto Ricans after a hurricane. And your candidate is also fine spreading lies in the wake of natural disasters that hit Americans. That's the context. Just be honest about the fact that you excitedly fed racist red meat to the MAGA crowd, and they didn't even like the flavor of meat you served. Also, you might want to look for a new vacation spot after this, just a suggestion. Let's also not forget this. This is from, I believe, 2021, when Tony Hinchcliffe showed how big of a racist he was, and his own representation dropped him. So, in the year 2021, there was a stand-up set, and Hinchcliffe was videotaping insulting an Asian comedian named Pang Dang, who had introduced him. And Hinchcliffe said dang was a filthy little effing C word, the slur for Asian people, followed with a series of Asian stereotypes and a mock Chinese accent, and lashed out at audience members who laughed at Dang's jokes, branding them as race traitors. The video was later shown on Twitter, went viral, received criticism. Hinchcliffe was dropped by William Morris. He was removed from Joe Rogan's shows, of all shows. And the Austin nightclub announced it would no longer be involved with Hinchcliffe or his Kill Tony live show. He also, to show how big of a racist he is, stated the Chinese people came to Austin because of the bats and criticized offended audience members for believing he was serious. So, look, man, I say it again. When people show you who they are over and over again, just believe them. Because this is who Tony Hinchcliffe is. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.